Hey guys, so on my wake up I go from coffee, I was thinking, I haven't done a YouTube video in a while, what can I do a YouTube video on? And I've decided I'm going to do one on God. Not religion, but what I perceive and what God, using critical thinking, seems likely to be. I know a lot of people are thinking, the people that I work with, it's funny, one girl hasn't read the Bible, but she's got this whole view on God that seems to me to be rather inaccurate. It may very well be right, but it just seems, for lack of evidence, to be inaccurate. And she's like, God takes people when they're ready to die, you know? That woman that was sexually molested and then later died years later from depression, God chose to take her. But that rapist that lived, to the ripe old age of 90, God just allowed him to live, and that wasn't right of him. And that's her viewpoint. Now, and there's other people that sinners will burn in hell for eternity. That's their view. And there's another one, God allows suffering to happen. He's perfectly okay because God just doesn't care. Tsunamis, rapists, murdering, mass murders, all this other greed and inequality. God doesn't care. He's letting this happen. These are three, I think, rather common and wrong beliefs. God doesn't take people, and that little girl that died a terrible death or whatever in her sleep at 3 or was kidnapped and murdered, God needed another angel in heaven. Yeah, God created the entire universe. God doesn't need to take human beings, which he gifted to their parents, as an angel. That doesn't make any sense to me. So there's four. We'll go with those. Let's break those down. So let's start with hell. That's one of my favorite ones. You're gonna burn in hell. Hell is simply a control method. Yes, it says hell in the Bible that the wicked will burn in hell. I think it's actually talking about, because it says it'll cast the dragon, Satan, into hell for eternity. He'll go for 1,000 years, come back, rain hell on the earth again, and then he'll go back to hell and he'll burn for eternity. That's the devil's punishment, and the wicked are his demons, his followers. Now, not necessarily human beings. Consider this. You have a physical body, right? Yeah, you cut yourself, you bleed. Your physical body, when it dies, it rots away and turns into nothing. So how is whatever's left of you, now you could say your soul, going to go to hell and burn? Now, if I have one on me, damn, I don't. For illustration purposes, I was going to use a lighter. Lighter is physical flame. Well, yes, I guess you could call it physical. Do you think that a spiritual creature, your soul, spirit being, would be injured by something of this realm? If you shot it, if you tried to burn it, if you punched it, do you really think it's going to harm a spirit creature? The exact same way as hell, which is supposedly just under our feet, in Satan's domain, is going to rule, or going to burn your soul for eternity. It simply is impossible. It doesn't make any sense. Now, at the same time, another way of looking at that whole hell thing is God made man in his image. Now, I don't see God as a four-limbed, chest, head, torso kind of creature up floating around in the sky. I see God as a complete energy being that simply dominates everything and is in everything. Now, God made man in his image. That says so in the Bible. All right, well, God doesn't look like me. That would be rather dashingly handsome. But God is a spirit creature, and God is made out of love. Now, because I've experienced it, otherwise I wouldn't be saying so, the vibration of love, it totally exists, and it is a higher frequency that you can tune into and then therefore receive all of the benefits of love. It's absolutely amazing. If you can reach it, or if you want to be happier in life, I would say reach for the vibration of love. I've explained how previously, and I probably will in the future. But anyway, God is this vibration of love. God is love. God made man in his image, which is love. God gave us the incredible capacity to love one another, to forgive. All the things that come with love. We have those qualities. Now, at the same time, because we are mortal, sinning man, we have all the bad qualities that come with, say, the devil. Greed, mistrust, desire, lust, all those things. So, a God made out of love would not torture and burn us for eternity for disobeying him after he gave us free will. He said, look, you have free will to choose to worship me or to not worship me. The wages of sin is death. So you don't worship me, you're going to die, that's it. You live out this world, you live out this life, and when you die, that's all. You have nothing more. But if you worship me, if you love me, then you will be rewarded. And then, take any religion you want, the reward of afterlife or paradise or whatever. So, God is love, hell doesn't exist. God takes people, That person died, God needed another angel. Again, that doesn't make any sense. God is love. It says in the Bible that you are a gift to your parents from God. Okay, so you are a gift to your parents. Now, why would a loving God who made you out of love suddenly decide to take back that gift? Because he needed you in heaven. God created the earth, the sun, the stars, the heavens, and the moon, all the angels, and all of us. He does not need to kill people for another angel. And at that same point, when you die, do you go to heaven? Now, because I'm trying to stay away from a particular religion here, let's say you don't go to heaven because when you die, you're dead. Death is like a sleep. Your soul doesn't go anywhere at the moment. So when you die, your body is put in the ground and you go into a sleep, a deep sleep. You don't wake up. And then when God chooses, come the rapture, paradise, whatever, then you will be awoken. You don't go to heaven. Right? Now that's critical thinking. I don't think the heaven is filled with billions of people that have died and their souls up there floating around. But I'll get more into that again another day. Now what was there? There was hell, there was death. Oh yeah, God doesn't care. So why does God allow suffering on the earth? God doesn't care about us. We're here, we're suffering, and God doesn't give a damn. I don't believe that's true. Now, critical thinking again, God is love. Alright, now if God is love, why would he allow us to suffer? Well, think of it this way. If you're a parent, or even if you're a child who understands why your parents punish you, then you could see from this point of view. Your child does something. And so to teach your child that there are consequences to their actions, you punish them. So that may be physical pain, or emotional pain, whether it be a spanking or a timeout, some kind of punishment that basically makes them sad, makes them realize that what they were doing is wrong and that they can't do it again, for if they do, there's consequences. Same thing if you're a child, your mom or dad punishes you because what you did was wrong and you had to understand. If we had no punishment for like, don't do that, that's wrong. Okay, Dad, yeah, I won't do that anymore, because the worst that's going to happen is they're going to say, don't do that. Stop doing that. That's not going to do anything. That's not going to accomplish anything. We're just going to have a whole world filled with rebels and people that don't care. That's bad parenting. You don't just tell your child, don't, stop. Now, I have run into a few people whose parents have used that method to the benefit of them. They treated them with such utmost respect that the child, out of fear of making their parents sad, did not want to disobey them. Huh? Think of that now, like people that love God, they don't want to disobey God, so they try their best to not be punished. Whereas other people don't care. Who cares? Bad things usually happen to people who tend to not really care about what's going on. People call that karma, unlucky, things like that. But it just happens to be that you don't care about the punishment, then it's just going to keep happening to you, really, right? So let's go back to the very beginning. Satan and God, the Garden of Eden, right? Adam and Eve took the apple, the fruit, whatever, they ate it, they had the knowledge of good and evil. Now they realized that there are good things and bad things. Instead of just having the joy and pleasant of good things, now they realize there's both, and now they have the free will to choose. I mean, they always had the free will to choose, but they simply didn't know that bad existed. But now they do. Oh, good and evil. Oh, well, shucks. Now that we know what evil is and we're capable of evil, well, now evil began. So God and Satan kind of had this bet. Not really a bet, but it was something along those lines. We'll say it is. So God said, humanity has to learn that bad and humans don't go together. Humans cannot rule themselves. If humans are evil, they will not be able to rule themselves. I mean, look at us now. How many thousands of years later, apparently by the Bible's date, are we capable of ruling ourselves? Look at the world. Look at who's benefiting from ruling ourselves. Only a few. It's not for the betterment of mankind. God knew this was going to happen. And he said, but I'm going to let this run out. I'm going to let man go for it. I'm going to let him try. Because if man doesn't try, if I stopped everything right now, man, later on in the future, might look back and say, you know what? I wonder if we could have done it. I bet we could have ruled ourselves without God's help. Huh? So, like a young child, getting us while we're young, before we grow up to be rebellious adults, God was teaching us a lesson. Now, humanity, we are such a young species. And that's why I see us in the scale of things. We're children. We have the mentality of children. I mean, look at us. We live on one planet, one little rock, in the midst of an enormous universe, and we're squabbling about lines. Hey, this is my country. You step on my country, I'll fight you. Hey, you have something I want. I'm going to take that. Or hey, my people had that hundreds of years ago. That's mine now. I'm going to take that from you. What does that sound like? That sounds like children. That's my toy. This is my square. Stay out of my room. We're kids. We're just little children. All right? And as a species, we can't get out of that. We're fighting like children. And you know what? We're going to end up killing ourselves off. Unless God comes and assists us. Critical thinking here again. So God said, but out of all of man, there will be people that still love me. And so he had the Bible written, and he left prophecies, and he left messengers to tell of God. So that people just didn't go right into the whole galloping into evil and never return. Because God loved us, that is why he gave us the Bible, hey, the Bible or other books. I can't remember the Quran or things like that. Basically, he gave us the words of wisdom to help us through. He gave us the qualities, and he told us how to use them. And then he told us what to do to save ourselves. Like a loving parent. He gave us the free will and gave us the instruction. That stove is hot. Now you touch that stove, you're going to burn yourself. But I'm not going to do anything if you touch the stove. You can find out yourself. So he told us about everything, and now he's letting us just go at it. Now, I mean, people say that's cruel, all these suffering. Well, think of it this way. Again, okay, your body's in the ground. Your soul's just sitting there, hanging around with your body. You're just waiting for things to happen. Now, when God's day has come, because only God knows when God's day will come, Armageddon, the rapture, whatever it is, God will bring back all of that energy from everybody that's died throughout history that are deserving of a new life. And so he will resurrect or bring them back to life with their energy and whatnot. So the same people will come back. Now, it's not like zombies will rise out of the grave, but they'll be given fresh vessels, probably of the same age, and then or go to heaven in that particular time, however you want to look at it. But God will help all of those people. So all those people that died in a tsunami, their lives aren't wasted. They're not gone forever. They will come back if they are good human beings worthy of coming back. Now, only God can deem that, because if you were to judge somebody else, then you yourself will be judged. God has a book of life, we'll say, and everyone's name of who is worthy to God of living a life will be granted so. If your name's not written in the book of life, well, then you die. The wages one pays for sin is death. So, God is loving. Now, people don't seem to understand this thing. God doesn't care and everything. It's like, God has to wait. God has to, like that loving parent, let you learn your lesson. He has to teach you that you cannot rule yourselves, that you are too young as a species to be by yourselves. Now, maybe once we grow up as a species, will you get the hell out of here, cat? Maybe once we grow up as a species, then we'll be able to not be God's, well, we'll always be God's children, but not so much be underneath him, but be more like a grown person is with their mother or their father, close friends. The parent still has the authority and the respect of their younger child, but they don't have that child-parent relationship, but they have, parent-man or parent-woman relationship, the friend relationship, and maybe that's what we'll have with God. So hopefully if you're a little bit confused about religion or God, maybe that will help you. Now, religion is a whole nother thing aside from God. Using critical thinking and just a little bit of knowledge of the Bible, those are the basis and things that I've thought about God. That's how I feel of God. God does not just allow suffering. It hurts God as much as it hurts us to see us suffering. Like a parent their child hurting themselves, it hurts us to see it as well. Your kid Louie! Get out of here! So, like a parent watching their kid fall, it hurts us to see it. Same thing with God. God is very loving and caring, but he's just waiting. And there will be rewards for everyone that, lives a good, happy, and purposeful life. And so, that is that. Now, if you have any questions, or you have an interesting viewpoint or a different thought on it, I'd love to see your guys' comments, video responses, or messages. As always, I'd like to get you involved in the discussion. And if you can find me and add me on Skype, I've got a few of you there. 123 ABC Kick Ass, I think. Kadota, if you can find me. I would love to chat with you guys personally. And so, that is all for today. I will see you around. Peace.